Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to NASholes, the podcast where two assholes who like to think they know a thing or two about NASCAR talk about NASCAR. I'm Benny B, joined alongside my very good friend Drew the Man Scar
Hi,
Van,
Mom.
and we just had an epic race in Atlanta, Drew. Well, we can't call it Atlanta Motor Speedway anymore because it's Echo Park Speedway. I'm not calling it that, but I'm just saying that's what they're saying.
It'll enter the lexicon in the next couple years.
Call it whatever you want. The reconfiguration of the track, absolutely amazing, man. This track had a lot of passing. I believe we had 46 passes for the lead, maybe.
Nice. Nice.
And dude, it was great. I mean, this has always really been one of my more favorite tracks, but man, now I'm starting to think, dude, they need to have this race on the 4th of July. And I think that would be sweet.
Not a bad idea.
But speaking of 4th of July, Drew, let's talk about Hoist.
Yes, boys.
Because Hoist supports America. They support
Yeah.
the military. Hoist is a IV level hydration drink proven to get you 110% more hydrated than water.
Suck it, water.
And they have excellent flavors, Drew. I'm telling you, dude, this 5-star punch is my favorite.
5-star punch and black cherry is where it's at.
Absolutely. And last week, if you guys listened, I bought Drew a shitload of them. But he's just been pounding them because he's just trying to stay hydrated, man.
It makes water taste like ass now. I never want to go back.
No, definitely not. I tell you what, man, I went golfing on last Friday, and man, I was dehydrated. Probably due to myself for drinking in the heat, but you know,
So
I
you
had
should have
some
been
Hoist.
drinking Hoist in the heat.
I should have been drinking Hoist,
You could make
and
spiked
we would
Hoist.
have been A-okay, my guy.
Add a little bit of ketos to your Hoist, man, and you can get drunk and hydrated. You're welcome for the idea, Hoist. You're welcome.
But yeah, you guys can check out all of the flavors and things they have. They even have the packets if you're more into that. This stuff is dye-free. It is made with the exact amount of electrolytes you need based on science. No bullcrap, no additives, and
Yeah, here at
it's great.
NASCAR,
So
we trust the science unconditionally.
absolutely.
uh,
And you can get 10% off if you are military or a first responder at checkout if you go to drinkhoist.com, and all orders over $99 have free shipping. So go check them out. Go follow them on social media. It's at drinkhoist. And yeah, we're proud to have them as the unofficial official sponsor of NASCAR. Stay moist with Hoist.
Man, we were doing so good. Anyways,
But sorry, just had to have another sip of Hoist.
I mean, it's addicting. I'm not gonna lie.
Drew, they like pretty early on, we had a pretty impactful crash, and I think it all rooted the root of it was with Christopher Bell. It honestly looked like it was his own doing. I think he just got loose. He got up top of the track and trying to maybe come back down. I think he just got loose. But I was talking to somebody earlier, and we were talking about how Bell has kind of become a liability, man. He won those first couple races in the year, and now it just seems like this is happening a lot with Bell.
Well, I mean, you're gonna have hot streaks and you're gonna have shit streaks, and he's on a shit streak right now. Yeah, I don't know. Next week's always a
I
new
don't know. It
week.
just seems like he's a liability to the field right now.
No, that's Cody Ware. Don't worry, he'll never lose that crown. Steve Bell could drive the race going the opposite direction, and Cody Ware would still bring out more cautions.
But yeah, that crash, I think. So it took out Blaney. I know that for sure. And Blaney nearly missed. He nearly got away from it, and it just took him out. But that wasn't the biggest crash of the day, man. The other one, man, that took out half the field.
Total banger, literally.
Dude, crazy. And did you see Joey Logano's car after that? I thought he was okay, honestly. I thought it was like, oh, okay, he'll get away, go to the pits, they'll hammer some things out or whatever, tape it up. And then you see they pan to him and his car is going like this.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's not okay. He's not okay. Damn it.
Yeah.
Because I had him for the pool pick. Damn it.
I felt the same way about Josh Berry because they didn't tow him off or anything like that, and I was like, oh, maybe he's gonna stay in the race. Maybe his damage isn't that bad. And then I got a different angle, or I saw a different angle of the car, and I was like, ah, fuck, his day's over. And then I saw him
Now that
driving
I
to the
think about it,
garage, and I was like, son of a bitch.
yeah. Now that I think about it, Drew, I think all of that stemmed from Hamlin, and it was, the way he explained it is like we were zigging and zagging, and it just didn't work out. That's the way he had described it when they were interviewing him after he got out of the care center. Yeah, dude, it's huge pileup, man. Like it literally took out half the field, man. Like, all of a sudden, you see SVG up there in fourth, and you're like, this isn't supposed to be happening.
Yeah, it's like what in the fuck is going on? But yeah, no, that was one of those crashes where you're just like, Jesus fuck, how did anybody make it through that?
I know, seriously, dude. And then like they just kept towing them away, towing the like Cindric, freaking Hamlin,
Yeah, yeah.
freaking man,
This
they
was
were
like
just
what
towing a bunch of
I
them
think it was
away.
the longest red flag stop of the year, outside of like
Mm-hmm.
due to weather delay or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
so it was,
Well, and I believe Hamlin actually got back out there. I think.
I don't know if he did. I know Wallace did because he was involved in that wreck, but
What?
he was able
Yeah,
to.
and then he ended up turning loose.
Yeah, yeah.
He got like only a couple laps in, I thought, wasn't it?
Uh,
And then he,
I would say maybe like 10 or 20 laps, and then he just got loose and wrecked again. Poor guy, you know.
yeah,
But
no kidding, dude. I'm looking at it right now, Drew. This is who was out: Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin, Josh Berry, Ross Chastain, Daniel Suarez, Chase Briscoe, Joey Logano, William Byron, Austin Cindric, Corey LaJoy was racing. Which honestly, I did not even know that until they interviewed him when he was out and after the Care Center. And then, of course, Ryan Blaney, we talked about earlier. So, dude, this I mean, that took out a lot of the A players, and I just knew from there on out this race was going to be very interesting.
well, I think the top 10 for the rest of the night was full of guys who hadn't gotten a win yet this season. So
Yeah,
it
I
was,
believe you're right, because
yeah, so it made for a pretty good showdown at the end. But going back to your Corey LaJoy comment, I didn't see his car in there. I swear to God, though, I just knew he was in it.
just didn't care to know, though, for sure.
Jesus Christ, man. Well, because I just saw it and I was like, if LaJoy isn't in that, I'm gonna get out of my wheelchair and moonwalk backwards, dude. I swear to fucking God, I will. And then I saw him outside the car and I was like, oh, thank God, I can't moonwalk. Yes. Yeah.
But, dude, I gotta say, like, so early on, Hocevar, man, I gotta see where he started 30th, brother. And he was just being aggressive, moving up the field, dude. And I think at one point he got to like fifth or so, or eighth, maybe it was.
Yeah, he made the top
I
10 a
can't
handful of
recall.
times Saturday night.
Yeah, and everyone was like, "Holy crap!" Like, I think I think it was either Dale Jr. or Letarte that they were talking about. Like, like he's aggressive and he doesn't really care. And I've kind of come to like the way that he drives, and I know like, at first I was just like, but I like it, man. It's like you do what you got to do to win, bro. And like he's been impressive with it. Like I think he's getting better at doing it, and he's only going to get better from here. And he finished with the top 10. He finished 10th. And
Yeah.
granted half the field was out, but I mean
I
still you
think he
still
would have been
have
up
to.
there regardless. He had a
I would
phenomenal
agree.
Atlanta race back in February, so you know he knows what he's doing there at this point.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I don't know, with every top 10 or hell even top 5 he gets, I just see him getting a win this season becoming more and more likely. It's just a matter of piecing it together right at the very end, working or pulling your way past the established like tier one drivers. So like your
Yeah.
Larsons, Hamlins, you know, sometimes Logano's, depends what year it
Mhm.
is. With an even year, yeah, off year or an odd year.
And personally, I think it's more likely that it'll come on an intermediate track for him. He has run really well on them.
Oh God, yeah.
I think he will win this year, man.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he makes playoffs,
I
but
just have a hard time believing that he can't.
yeah. I mean, if like I said, if he doesn't make the playoffs, I still see him getting the win this year. Even if it's in the
Like think
last
about
12 races or
Michigan. I
whatever.
mean, he was a blown tire away from like probably being like a winner.
Well, you got to remember though too, he was short a handful of laps that day though anyway. So even if he didn't have the tire go down, he was still gonna have to go to pit road unless we got a caution. But we never got that
Yeah.
caution.
Well,
So
things could have worked out in his way.
I mean, it was a long shot, but yeah, yeah, I guess so.
But I know you're happy, Drew, because Chase Elliott ends up winning the race on a last lap pass on Brad Keselowski, who on the one hand, I'm like really happy for Chase Elliott because like I've seen Chase Elliott race this year, and he has quietly like just in the standings wise, I believe if I look at this right, yeah, he's second in points.
Yeah, I think outside of Byron, I think, well, I guess, and let me rephrase this. So outside of Bowman, the three other Hendrick cars have been pretty solid this year. Bowman, if he's not wrecking, he's just not having it go his way. And
But you do have to give him credit lately. The last 3 races now,
holy
he's
shit,
really shown something.
holy shit! Did Ben just compliment Alex Bowman?
I did.
Wow,
I
dude,
did.
hell must have froze over.
Look, man, we're all about the facts and the science, like we said earlier about
Yeah,
Hoist.
yeah, we trust the
I
science
can't,
unconditionally,
I can't
blindly.
deny the fact that Bowman has done well. And honestly, dude, it was ever since the wreck at Michigan, man. Like, this dude wants to show Hendrick, like, I'm not just some, like, last guy that you just have on the team. He ends up getting a third place finish at this race in Atlanta. I mean, dude, at the end of that race, which, by the way, this was my favorite part, is they just kept the lead kept almost seemed like every straightaway, like after every turn, like the leader was changing because they would be in a line up top, and then somebody would go down and then pass them, and then it would just kept going back and forth like that. I'm not sure. I can't recall, but let's see if there was any laps led. Well, he led 32 laps. Keselowski led 46, and then Elliott 41.
Now, was Byron involved in that massive wreck? Was he one of the names you listed off earlier?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was gonna say, like, I couldn't like I couldn't find the 24, and I didn't remember seeing him in the big wreck. But honestly, there were so many cars involved in that. It was pretty hard to keep track.
Yeah, and Byron was a guy really even before that point. You didn't really hear anything about him.
Well, I mean, yeah, I was gonna say outside the Daytona 500, no, and arguably Charlotte as well. He hasn't had the most races go his way. Not for that pesky
But here's the thing
watermelon
about
lad.
Byron, though.
Yeah.
The thing about Byron is that he's already locked in the playoffs, and I just always feel like he's gonna bring, like Hendrick's gonna give him the best, and he's gonna bring his best when it comes to in the playoffs, and we've seen that over the last handful of years. So I mean, I don't know, but seeing Chase Elliott win, because I think we talked maybe a couple of weeks about Chase Elliott, and like we've seen that he has the capability, but we weren't sure if Hendrick was giving him what he needed. I don't know if they just gave him what he needed here, or if it was just, I don't want to say it was luck, because I don't ever believe
Uh,
that races won are luck, because I don't really believe in that. I mean, I understand like super speedways and stuff, you get the crashes like we had,
yeah.
and things turn out, but
Well, I
you
mean,
still have to run it up front.
all right. If it wasn't for half the field being pretty much taken out, he still could have won the race, but he would have had a hell of a lot more inexperienced, or a hell of a lot more experienced drivers that he'd have to battle with. I mean, truthfully, after that massive wreck, when I was seeing who was like still left in, it was Bowman, Keselowski, Elliott, Reddick, really, that I figured would get the win at the end of the night. Because
Yeah, I
those were
mean,
really the
that's what
more
I was thinking
experienced
too.
drivers as well.
But I just want to point this out: is stage one, Elliott placed ninth in stage one. So I mean, he
Nice.
was already up there. So, but yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, because I mean, imagine that doesn't happen. This might not have been. I mean, it might have been because Keselowski. Let's be honest, man, he had a fast car, dude. I mean, he was bringing the moves, and he said at the end, if you watch his in-car camera, he was like, oh, didn't have a teammate, and yeah,
Uh,
that's true. He didn't. He
yeah,
didn't.
he's kind of left out there
He
to
didn't even
dry.
have another Ford.
Yeah, I think the nearest Ford was Smith.
Let's see.
I think he was the only Ford I recall seeing up front. I think all the other
Let's
ones got
see.
taken out.
Yeah, Smith, and he was in seventh. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you do? And that's so true, because Bowman, man, he was just pushing on the ass of Elliott, and they were probably planning on just at the end trying to battle in for that win. But I don't know. Certainly a good points day for Keselowski. But I mean, I don't know. Let's look at the standings. Like, where does that put Keselowski now after this race? I mean, he's still 27th in points, so I mean, it doesn't do much for him. He really needed that win, man. And
And
I don't know.
well, the next couple weeks are going to be tricky for Brad. Even though he's won on road courses before, the majority of the drivers on the field now are more like acclimated to road
Well, they're just
courses.
far superior at it.
Yeah, because like back when So actually, you know what? I take that back. I don't think Keselowski has ever won a road.
Let's
Like
see.
the one that's sticking out to me is when him and Marcus Ambrose were battling at the Glen, but Ambrose like outdrove him that race.
I'm looking up his stats at road courses. So,
Yeah, I mean he might have won him, but I can't think of one off the top of my head.
dude, no, he's pretty bad.
So that was his best road course ever. Then when he took second.
Like I'm looking at like let me just list you off like the last 5. Okay. Finish like this is where he finished. 25th, 15th, 23rd, 26th,
Uh,
18th. And like he doesn't get any higher really in here than 10, and that was at Sonoma in 22. That was like the best finish he's had in like recently, like at a road course. So,
yeah, I guess it's going to be a long couple weeks for Brad.
you know. And you know, I mean, I just RFK, I think they know that I mean, they all there know that Busher and Dang Priest are far better on the road courses, and so I mean they're
Yeah,
probably going to be putting a lot into those into the 60 and the 17,
yeah, no, most
knowing that.
definitely. Yeah, I'd say yeah, those would probably be the better or the RFK cars to watch. Not saying Brad Keselowski can't have a good run at a road course, but I guess
No.
his last
It's going to come down to qualifying, really what it is.
perhaps. Well, I mean, we're going. What is it? Chicago this weekend. This upcoming weekend,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, so that's Chicago, and then we're going to Sonoma directly afterward, right? Which
I
I
believe you're right. Let me
yeah.
check the schedule here.
May, now, did we race Sonoma this time last year, or will we ever fucking go to Sonoma while it's
Well,
actually green and pretty and not fucking looks like it's in a post-apocalyptic
I know, and
state?
not get an ass grass rating.
For real, dude, for real.
Oh,
That was a
so we
guaranteed
have
ass grass.
dude, you're actually right. We have Chicago and Sonoma.
Okay, yeah.
So,
So it's gonna be a long couple weeks for Brad.
yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean, he gets Dover after that,
but
and
you know now's the time though for SVG to really fucking stick it to the fans that were bitching and moaning about him going from like 30 in points up to 16th or something like that.
I was just thinking about this because I saw something today like says SVGs does not deserve to be in. Like if winning your in didn't exist, SVG wouldn't even be at the cup level. Like okay, you can't really actually say that because
Yeah,
one you don't know. You don't actually know if Trackhouse wouldn't put him up there anyways. And two, like I mean like who's to say that like a different system wouldn't call for them wanting to bring him up anyhow.
yeah. I mean, no, that is a really dumb take to be honest. Because even if we did,
I'm just so sick of that
if we
crap.
didn't even have the playoff system, you know, they'd still have him up because he's dominant at road courses. So like, it's a no brainer if you ask me. And he brings guaranteed
Well,
sponsorship with like Red Bull and
that's
safety
right what I was
culture.
gonna say, man.
So it's like,
Is it's not even about like your team like getting playoff drivers. It's like the sponsors love that, dude.
yeah,
Like and like that's how you build those relationships and keep sponsors.
I don't
It can, anyways. I'm not saying that winning is the only reason that you keep a sponsor, but
Well, I mean, in some cases it is. you
it can.
know,
Yeah, no, it can definitely.
I mean, shit. What was it? Back in the day, Shell Pennzoil sponsored Kevin Harvick, but he went on like a year or two drought when he was racing for Richard Childress, so they pulled their sponsorship, and then legit the next race that was scheduled after they announced they're moving over to Penske at the end of the year,
Mm,
he went out and won a fucking race. I think it was Talladega. I don't recall, but I think it was. So that was, I
yeah.
mean, it kind of worked out for both parties in the end. You know, he went on to get Budweiser as a sponsor, and Anheuser Busch in general just fucking loved him. So, you know, whatever.
The so Drew, I just want to give you a rundown on the top 10, and this is going to be the most interesting one that we've seen this year. So obviously, we talked about Chase Elliott getting that last lap pass on Keselowski to win the race, which was that was phenomenal. Brad Keselowski in second, Alex Bowman in third, Tyler Reddick in fourth, Eric Jones with the top 5 in fifth, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in sixth, Zane Smith in seventh, Ty Dillon in eighth, Chris Buescher in ninth, and Carson Hocevar in 10th. So I mean that just shows you right there. I mean Eric Jones, I don't know, has he done a whole lot this year really?
He's been running better this year, compared to like
I
last year.
definitely think
I
so.
mean, last year was brutal for Legacy Motor Club. So yeah,
He has 3 top 10s and 2 top 5s so far this year.
Well, so
average finish of
so the only thing that scares me though is so like the rumor mill is that Legacy and Trackhouse would be the two teams that go to Dodge if and when they make a return to Cup and Xfinity. And I hope they learned their fucking lesson from when they announced, like, not even 4 races into the season back in 23. Yeah, 23. Oh, yeah, yeah. Starting in the next year, we're going to be switching over to Toyota. And then Chevy just cuts them off from data at that point. Because it's like, well, I mean, we know you're just going to go somewhere else at the end of the year. So minimal assistance from the manufacturer. So I hope
yeah.
they're fucking smart and they don't make an announcement till like towards the end of the year. But
That would be, yeah, that would definitely be something else, man. I mean, now I heard though that, I mean, Dodge isn't, they're not going to really be in Cup till about 2027, 2028.
yeah,
So
which
I
is
don't think we have to worry about that
well, I don't know, but
right now.
I don't know. There's a part of me that just thinks Ram shows up next year in trucks, butt fucks the entire field, and Dodge is like, all right, we got to get back in.
I
But
mean,
no,
well,
there's a
that's
whole
one
lot
way
of
to get it quicker.
well, and like I don't even know how long they were in talks with Ram for re-entering the sport.
Right, for all we know, they've been doing this for like 10 years or something, or
Well,
5 years.
ever since we got the next gen, with the Gen 7 now, the rumor was that Dodge was going to make a comeback. Steve Phelps, I think, was one of the NASCAR execs that said that they couldn't go into detail, but like they have been in talks with Dodge and trying to just stir up some hype or whatever. But that was like 2 or 3 years ago, and it seemed to have gone nowhere. But then like early this year, people just started you know talking about Rams going to be back soon. I mean,
Yeah.
now we know they're coming back next year.
Yeah, I mean that'll be interesting. I definitely love to see that in Cup. I think it's good for the Cup to have it, you know, to have more than 3 manufacturers.
Well, and if you think about it, if you had a fourth, hell, even a fifth manufacturer, that just
They
gives,
talked about like Nissan or Honda or
yeah, which I think would be great additions, honestly. I mean, the fucking rebel flag waver and Bubba Wallace hate and NASCAR fans will lose their goddamn minds over that, but they'll be dead from gum disease.
Danny ain't American.
It is, they'll be dead from gum disease in anywhere from 5 to 15 years. So we don't got to worry about them for long. Yeah, when you have more manufacturers, that gives the manufacturers that are like guaranteed, team manufacturers like Hendrick and RCR, for instance, with like Chevy. I don't think there's a dollar amount you could ever offer Rick Hendrick or Richard Childress to switch from Chevrolet to a different
No,
manufacturer.
definitely not, man.
You
There's
know,
just no
they're
way.
they're far too ingrained with it, and
Well, and they're too successful.
yeah, it'd be the same as like RFK Racing switching from Ford to fucking Dodge. Like Jack Roush would not be for it. You know, I'm not saying that Keselowski and Fenway. I don't even know what to call them, but the Fenway part of RFK would probably be cool with it. But Jack Roush is, his blood
Oh,
bleeds blue through and
I see what
through,
you're
man.
saying.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
but since like, okay, so like let's say if Trackhouse and Legacy do go to Dodge, so that takes money that would have to be divided up between the three Toyota teams and the main three Chevy teams, and it drops down to two Chevy teams and two Toyota teams. You get the two Dodge teams, and now like they can put more money into like those teams' cars, so that way they run better, if that kind of makes sense. It's
No, I get
like a
I
like a
understand it.
rising tide lifts all situation. So like the more manufacturers we get in, the more money they can like pump into those teams. Hopefully perform better, and then keep NASCAR going up on
Right, and
the
then in turn the product will be better because we'll have better cars out there. I
yeah.
mean, these racers, I mean, come on, like there's some guys that are really good, they're just not given the right equipment. And that's really what it comes down to.
I
So,
mean, hell,
yeah, that would be huge.
I think LaJoy and Cody Ware both could do decent if they were in a tier one, like with their fifth manufacturer team. Just because they'd have all the money,
Yeah.
sunk into them from that team, so, or that manufacturer, I should say. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll just hit the wall faster. So fuck it. Who knows? Yeah, it just makes their crashes more harder. So they're going quicker.
We're going 200 and they're
I gotta
going
stop shitting on
75.
drivers like that.
It's all good.
Cody Wayward outdrive me in any day of the week. I'll say that.
But BJ McLeod, he should be happy he finished ahead of Larson.
Oh, that's was he racing? I
Yep.
didn't see the 71. Oh, good for him.
Uh,
I mean, BJ McLeod's one of those guys where like he doesn't do really good, but like all I've heard of the guy is that he's super chill and like down to earth and like a cool dude. So like,
oh, really?
yeah. So because like I used to kind of hold him to the same level of contempt, that I do with Rick Ware Racing. But then I was like, oh, this dude's a fucking G. Like he straight up sold his charter so that way when he makes select NASCAR starts, he can put more money into those races so he can potentially run better. And I was like, this
Oh,
guy,
that's actually dope.
this guy does it for,
I never knew anything about this.
yeah, because like I kind of saw him as like one of those like fucking silver spoon babies or whatever that was doing it because they had the money to. But when he did that, that showed, oh no, he wants to actually like be competitive in this sport. So and he made a big risk like that. And yeah, I mean, ever since then, he's one of those like long shot underdogs where I hope to God I get let him. I hope to God he gets like an insane win somehow. Like if he won the Daytona 500, I would be more bricked up than Victoria era London, dude. I mean, I would be fucking ready to rip.
For sure, dude. I want to get to a question from X. I posted earlier that we should be recording tonight, which we are. That's cool. I'm glad nothing happened.
Yes.
You know how it's been the last. Well, I mean, other than last week because I was just there, and so we had to just do it right away.
Yeah, and then the sex afterward is delectable.
Mm.
I'm glad Alexandra let you take the French tickler with you. Anyway,
Very divine.
It was quite nice.
I said we should be recording tonight, which we are. Great. Comment your thoughts or questions. I got a question from Steven, dude from Foreign Fuel Podcast. Go listen to it, y'all. It's a very good podcast. I like it.
Yeah, what the fuck are you guys doing?
NASCAR podcast.
Go listen to them. Well, after this. Go listen to them after this.
Yeah, after this.
No,
always after us.
If I see around the
before.
34-minute mark that every one of you turn this fucking thing off, I'm done with NASCAR for life, man. Yeah, I see the
You're
average. You're
banned from being an asshole.
Yeah, dude, fuck off. No, please don't. Please don't. We have limited viewers, and
we need viewership.
Dude, if I upload a video and it got 0 views, I would probably kill myself. Not gonna lie.
Bro, wait, don't be serious.
Anyways.
We're just having fun.
Yeah, fun.
So Steven at Stingray21 says, with how consistent Chase Elliott has been this year, how far can the 9 team go in the playoffs?
I mean, if they keep running good, I can honestly see them making at least a round of 8.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason why they couldn't, especially now that his crew chief is, and I quote, taking the job real seriously now. Which is like, you saying after you won a championship and all that, you were just kind of like, yeah, fuck it, I know what I'm doing.
Well, he may have got complacent,
Maybe, but I don't know. I never saw that.
But I especially like with these playoffs, I don't know. You got. Let me look because I'm pretty sure I gotta pull up the. I can't always remember the what do you call it? The playoffs. So you have Darlington, and then you have WWT, Bristol. I mean, these are a lot of tracks in the playoffs that I think he could potentially do good at, especially Roval. But I think the detriment of Elliott is the fact that there's only one road course for him. I mean, he does very well. But I mean, there's other like intermediates and whatnot that I think.
Well, I mean, Elliott's one of those.
Great at.
I mean, Elliott's one of the drivers that if he's got a good car, I don't really care what configuration of track it is. If he's got the equipment, he can get it done.
Right. So this is on how far Hendrick's willing to let him go.
Well, I mean, they're gonna let him go fucking deep, or else the fan base is gonna riot. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think any of the tracks that we're gonna get to the playoffs will be any detriment to anybody outside of SVG. I mean, he's got the Charlotte Roval, which fuck the Roval, give us 2 Charlotte dates.
But Drew, he can't even get there unless he gets past the round of the round of 16.
Well,
you know what I mean? So like,
if he doesn't need to fucking blow people's socks off.
No, he just needs to finish higher than
yeah,
like 4 other guys.
Well, and you got to take into consideration too. There's always going to be granted, you can argue and say SVG would be one of these guys, but there's always going to be the 4 that you're like, oh yeah, these guys will be out of the round of 8 or round of 16. Boom, like they're not
Well,
advancing to
always.
12. So you could make the argument
And then of
that
course you get like one shocker who like ends up like getting like a really high finish.
yeah, and
Always. But yeah, definitely, man. So like, I mean, maybe he could be that. Imagine he wins Darlington, and I'm not there. Damn.
SVG won Darlington. That'd be insane.
Dude, that would be insane. But yeah, no, I think Chase Elliott can at least make it to round of 8.
Yeah, yeah, he's one of the guys that you kind of expect him to make round of 8. Pretty much like all of Hendrick's guys, you kind of expect them to make round of 8.
At
So
least one or two of them are going to be in the championship 4.
yeah, Hendrick's had a driver in the championship for pretty much every year since 2020. Yeah,
Crazy,
because
man.
it was Elliott, and then 21 was Larson and Elliott. 22 was Larson and Byron. No. It was Larson and Elliott. 22. 23 was Larson, Byron. No. Oh wait.
23? Are you saying?
I know Byron was in the contention for that.
23 was, let's see, it was Blaney, Byron, Bell. Who's the other one?
But I really want to say it's Larson.
You might be right, dude.
I really
Let's
want to
see.
say it's Larson.
Blaney, Bell, Larson, and yeah, Blaney. Oh, Byron, Blaney, Larson, Bell in
Nice.
23. And then last year we had Blaney, Logano,
Byron and Reddick.
Byron, and yeah. So I mean, like last year they
So at least
they
100
did, but
cars.
still.
Yeah, at least 100 cars made the final 4 for the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, and now I'm pretty sure. Yeah, wait, aren't all 4 in the playoffs? Oh no, Bowman's not.
Bowman's not locked in, but
He is at, where is he at in the standings? Well,
they can't be doing
he is.
terrible.
I just don't know why I can't see him here. Well, actually, I don't know what's going on with this. Why I can't freaking find it? I'm an idiot.
You said it, not me, boo.
12th. He's in 12th.
Yeah, so I mean, if he can stay consistent for the next shit, when did we start the playoffs? August something? Yeah.
August 3rd.
Yeah, that's it. God damn, my surgery weekend. God damn it. Ah. They still be on like oxycodone, so I'll be sick. Dude, high off my ass watching NASCAR. Like, whoa.
Bro, cars are cool.
Dude, I fucking love
so
NASCAR.
fast.
God damn it, Ben, stop calling me. I'm watching it on my phone.
And I'm like, I'm watching it too.
I want to fucking talk to you, God damn it. My wife doesn't like it when I fucking jizz my pants over NASCAR. Because I'm spilling seed. What does she know?
Now, Drew, this is something we're going to talk about right now, is the in-season challenge. So,
oh yeah, and the one I forgot to finish.
Yes, you forgot to finish. I had mine, but it doesn't matter, Drew. It's okay. You would have been screwed anyway, just like me. Although
That's
my
true.
champion driver is still alive, and that's Chase Elliott. Picked him, but pretty much everything else went to hell.
I want to know genuinely how many people are legitimately still in contention to get that $1 million reward to the fans. Like I would bullshit. No, there's got to be 1 or 2 dumb.
No, they said there was zero. There was zero.
What the fuck?
Remaining perfect.
That's bullshit. I would have thought at least one drunk asshole was just like, yeah, what if I just try this?
Yeah, man, like this guy, I know it doesn't seem realistic, but I'm gonna pick
look, guys, for whatever,
Ty Dillon over Hamlin.
Yeah, for whatever reason, dude, I think Ty Dillon's just gonna somehow best Hamlin. Yeah, right.
It's bound to happen, right? But no, dude. This was crazy. So, first matchup, we had Hamlin, Ty Dillon, and everyone's thinking, Hamlin, because
yeah.
he's just been running
no
so
brainer.
well.
Yeah.
So, that doesn't happen. Busch Keselowski, okay, I actually did have Keselowski for that one. Only because I just think that Keselowski was just on an upward trend, and Busch just hasn't been. So, anyways, now we will have Ty Dillon versus Keselowski. I'm just gonna kind of go through this. You guys,
but they gotta battle each other at road courses, so that's gonna be.
Yeah.
Now, Steve, this is probably where the challenge is actually going to get really fucking good now, though. Because, like, unless we have, like, a very contentious race at a road course, they're usually just, like, parade laps almost. Like at least this time, you can be like, oh fuck, how's so and so doing against so and so?
Yeah. Well, and you know what? Like I liked Drew is TNT. I know, we were going to talk about this anyway. They did a good job, man. And I think the right move was bringing that same broadcast crew that they had for Prime there, and
I know.
the camera angles that they had were unbelievable, man.
Well, I mean, Dale Jr. I think's probably
Oh, his hand was heavily in it.
yeah. Well, because
And Steve Letarte too, I'd say.
yeah, well, yeah, I'm not saying all the good ideas were strictly from Dale Jr., but like Dale Jr.'s love of the sport is really why Prime was off the fucking charts. They could do whatever. They didn't have like scheduling restrictions and whatnot, so like you wouldn't have to like flip a channel if the race was getting like pushed back a day or whatever, or several hours. Not like you'd have to on like NBC or Fox. I think TNT has True TV, which is like honestly, who even
Yeah.
watches True TV anymore? So like, yeah.
Used to be in Practical Jokers. That's why you would watch it.
Were they on True TV? Oh, they were on True TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that must have been the South Park of True TV. Kept it afloat like South Park kept Comedy Central afloat.
But
Anyways,
I mean, overall, Drew, what did you think of the TNT? Because
uh,
I thought I was like, you know what? Like they weren't perfect. They still had full screen commercials, but for a while there in the beginning they didn't, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And then they did it, and I was like, oh damn you. But this is
yeah,
what I'll say: they were better than Fox, and that's all we could ask for is that they're just better than Fox.
yeah. I mean, I liked everything about it. The only thing I really was disappointed with is like we didn't get Carl Edwards. For these 5 races,
Yeah.
I was hoping
Yeah.
we were. But I guess he was just tied to
So
Prime, and
I'll be honest. The people that they had that would have been like the Carl Edwards and like the Corey
oh yeah, no, they
LaJoy.
were all fine. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, Carl Edwards has
No,
just
I'm gonna
been
be honest. I
dumb.
didn't like him, dude.
Really, Jamie McMurray?
Who was the dude that was sitting to the right? I really didn't even know who he was, but he didn't. He just sounded like he didn't know what he was talking about. Like he had never like watched NASCAR before.
No, I gotta fucking look it up because I really want to say it's
I don't know,
Mamba
brother.
Smith, but
I don't know. I thought it was great. Did you see the Ludacris thing before the race? Like kind of like the hype video for Atlanta,
uh,
like for the in-season challenge that TNT did.
no, I did not actually.
You'll have to watch it too. Dude. It was pretty dope. They had Ludacris like just driving in like a Camaro or whatever, and talk about like this is the in-season challenge. Well, driver, sorry, I'm yawning. Driver will have a chance at $1 million. And then it was like, move, bitch, get out the way.
Nice. So we had oh, you're talking about Parker Kligerman.
Was it actually?
Yeah, that was Parker Kligerman.
Well, he sounded like a jackass.
Yeah, it was Parker Kligerman.
But I like Parker Clearman.
Huh? Not anymore, I guess.
No, but
Yeah,
yeah, no, I don't know, Drew. Like they did like these drone shots, like where they were following the car. Like I just thought they did a good job with the camera angles and stuff like that. And I think that was great. And then like the pit reporting was pretty well done.
yeah.
It wasn't. I mean, like listen, we knew they weren't going to be Prime, and we had that expectation just because of that. Now, if they had gone before Prime, we probably would have been like, oh my gosh, this is awesome, man. Like this is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, so like Prime was like jumping from the bottom of the stairway up to the tippity top of the stairway, and then going to TNT was like dropping down 2 or 3 steps. So I mean,
Sure,
it's still pretty good,
like
but
no big deal.
I don't know. I mean, I've made it known. I really just think NASCAR should just be on one streaming platform. Just fucking get off network television. It's gonna die soon,
Yep,
anyways.
yep.
So,
But
but
I think what TNT is doing here, Drew, with this in-season challenge, it so one for all the degenerates out there. I mean, it's presented by DraftKings, so this gives a chance for all those degenerates who were betting on basketball and football, which aren't in season right now.
hey, your wife bitching and moaning about you spending all your money on DraftKings, betting on basketball and whatnot. Well, shut her up by betting on NASCAR. She just said I couldn't fucking bet on the NBA anymore. You didn't say
She
nothing
said,
about.
"No more basketball and football."
There's nothing
Like,
about.
well, I'm not doing that, so.
Shut up, Stacy, you fucking bitch. I earned
Well,
this
yeah,
money. I work in the oil fields 18 hours a day. I'll blow it on what
I'm
I
barely
want.
even home. I gotta spend my money somehow.
God damn.
But like, we're in like a lull right now, right?
Yeah, this is,
Like
which
for
is,
sports. So like,
yeah,
this gets. I think to be honest, man, this gets like a lot more people's eyes on NASCAR,
which was
and it's
the,
cool because during the broadcast, like they would show like this is the battle, or whatever. Like, oh, and like he already won because this dude's out, and like I don't know, it was just a cool way to.
So
I mean,
what's really funny about the midseason challenge is the fact that this was all Denny Hamlin's idea initially. He made this like 2 maybe 3 years ago. I think it was his freshman or sophomore year of hosting Actions Detrimental.
mm-hmm.
I mean, his was structured a little bit differently, but the entire purpose of it was to help fans stay in tune from like May to August, pretty much, because the sport it's hard for people to stay hyped by that point. So doing something like this helps keep the interest in the sport going. Now, fucking jump ahead 3 years. Now they make it a full-on challenge where a driver will win $1 million as long as he beats, whoever else is in contention for it. And Denny Hamlin gets knocked out round one.
I know, number one
That
seed.
poor guy, dude. That poor guy.
Number one freaking seed.
Poor dude, man. This was all his
But
idea, his baby, man. It was his baby. And then he got dunked on by Ty Dillon.
yeah, that was hilarious. He
Dude,
says,
God,
he's like,
yeah.
"Hey, Denny Hamlin fans, I took out your favorite driver." Like these guys
Goddamn.
aren't taking it serious because I saw the funniest thing. It was like because it was Gregson versus Briscoe in that bracket or whatever. And like they were going around to the guys like trying to get him to talk trash, and it was totally unserious. But like Briscoe and Gregson were right next to each other, and like Gregson like took his like Briscoe's hat off. He goes, "What is this?" He's like, "This dude about to go to Turkey after I beat him to get a hair transplant."
Ouch.
But like, dude,
Not the
Gregson
first
did him
driver to do
dirty.
it,
I'll need
though.
to go see that video, dude.
Dude, that's great. Well,
I may have reposted it. By the way, follow us on X at NASholes Pod and on TikTok at NASholes.
well, I mean, I think a lot of drivers are downplaying it, but like, it's for $1 million.
Deep down, they care.
It's $1 million, and
It's $1 million.
let's be honest, they make good money doing this, but they don't make $1 million paydays often. I think I think if you win the championship and you win the Daytona 500, you're going to be paid in the millions. But outside of
Yeah.
that, so I think
But should we
especially
oh,
like
go ahead.
skip to the like last couple rounds of it, that's when it's going to get real serious then. So the like if a smaller team's able to somehow pull it off and like win that, that's like a game changer for them. That just gave them more money to put into the team to help improve it.
Dude, that's so true, man.
Like for instance, what
Yeah,
if Ty Dillon somehow just wins it all? That's going to be phenomenal for college racing right there.
they definitely
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if all the money's the drivers or if the team gets a chunk of it or what, but
I don't know. The way they made it sounds for the driver.
it could be. But
Yeah.
even
But
though,
do you want to
yeah,
break this down? What we got, like these matchups, like what we're thinking?
yeah. Who do we got on the store? So we mentioned
Okay.
Keselowski and fucking who was it?
Ty Dillon.
Fuck, I don't
I'll
know.
be honest, man. Road course? Uh,
That's genuinely hard for me to tell because they're not phenomenal at road courses.
I I'm gonna go with Ty Dillon on this one.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna join you on that. I think I don't.
Okay. And then so this is the one same side of the bracket. So Bowman and Wallace.
Bowman.
I have to go Bowman.
By the way,
Just better on road. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude, that's amazing, dude.
well, I mean, remember last year when Bowman won Chicago and Bubba went up to him and just like juked him like with his car, you know? And then everybody was like,
Oh yeah, dude.
yeah, and he got like fined for it and everything like that. It was like,
Yeah.
yeah, and those rebel flag wearing fucking Bubba Wallace hating guys were like, get him out of NASCAR.
I'm gonna write these down, Drew. We can come to an agreement, and then this will be like the rest of our bracket.
All right.
So first round, for that first one, we have Dylan moving on. Then we have Bowman, and then next one is Nemechek Elliott.
Elliott.
I gotta go with Elliott.
Yeah, Elliott.
Yeah.
No brainer. Right there, no brainer.
Now I do want to talk about Nemechek just for a second. I think he's been honestly quite impressive this year.
Been doing pretty good. I mean, hell of a lot better than
Yeah.
last year. He's not wrecking as much. Still wrecking though, but not as much.
Yep. Now this is a tricky one for me. Eric Jones and Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Eric Jones. Stenhouse
Yeah.
is not a road course racer. And I don't know. I just think on road course, Jones would be the better pick.
Yeah, it has to be. All right, so those 4 guys are moving on. Going to the other side of the bracket. Ooh, this might be an easier one, to be honest. We have Gregson and Priest.
Greece.
Yep, I'm going Priest. Priest was great at Mexico City. Can't recall how he did at Coda, but I just think he runs
Yeah.
faster laps
Well,
and he'll be able to be up front
yeah.
right away anyhow.
You know, yeah, yeah. I think on a road course between the two of them is, yeah.
Now this next matchup, Drew, this is a very good one. Hocevar and Reddick.
Oh fuck!
I want to say Reddick here.
This one pains me because, yeah, I'm gonna have to be with you with Reddick purely because he pretty good on road courses.
Right.
That one
I think he
seems,
just runs them better.
it's nothing
It's
on
not a knock on
that's
Hocevar.
no, Hocevar is fucking phenomenal still, and but this is the second year in, and frankly, I don't remember how well he did in the last, like down in Mexico City. I think it was
Yeah.
like down a lap or something like that, and I don't know if that's because he was involved in a wreck or what. But,
Yeah. Oh shoot.
so,
This next one is, bro, this is the toughest one of all the matchups. I'll be honest. We got the Dinger versus Ty Gibbs. I'm gonna be honest, that is a tough one, dude.
Dinger,
They're both pretty well, but
Dinger,
yeah,
I'm going Dinger,
the
dude.
Dinger is just slightly better.
Dingerlinger, man.
And then finally, we have old Zane Smith and versus Chris Busher.
Busher.
Yeah, how did Busher do last year at or Chicago? I can't.
I don't recall, but after he put on that master class at Watkins Glen, I know he has it in him to do good. So that's
Well,
what.
yeah, and then I would be interested to see after that you have Busher and Allmendinger facing off at Sonoma.
Now, see,
I mean,
that's more difficult to decide right there. But
yeah,
that's only if it works out.
yeah. So we got that written down, Drew. We got Ty Dillon, Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott, Eric Jones, Ryan Priest, Tyler Reddick, AJ Allmendinger, and Chris Busher moving on. I think so. That would give us.
God
Let's think.
bless you, Ben Ward.
That would give us Dillon versus Bowman, Elliott versus Jones, then Priest versus Reddick, and Allmendinger versus Busher. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting, and like really, I think what happens is the better road course drivers, end up winning this thing.
Well,
Really,
so
because
I guess we should probably point this out though. That's if there's no massive pileups or whatever.
well, true, and like
Because
we saw at Mexico City, granted there was weather, it was slippery.
well, and frankly, every
Some
time we go to
crazy crap can
Chicago,
happen,
well,
dude.
every time we go to fucking Chicago, we seem to bring a storm with us. So
Oh yeah, it'll probably rain there. They'll have the wet weather tires on.
yeah. But I mean, well, for instance, SVG last year at Chicago was a no-brain pick. It's like, oh yeah, clearly you want to go with him, but he got took out. I
Exactly.
don't remember if it was mechanical
Exactly. It
failure
can
or if
happen
it
to the
was just
best.
he hit a really wet spot or what. But I remember him going straight into the tires, and I
Yeah, I do remember that. And we were
think the
like,
damaged
"Oh,
vehicle
damn it."
policy fucked him up on that last year.
That oh yeah, that's right.
So we do gotta say that's only if none of them are involved in a wreck. Clearly, if one of them gets in a wreck, the other one's just gotta, like, I don't know, finish the race. Or actually, no, I think if the
Mhm.
other one wrecks out, yeah, as long as you finish better than them, which I think would be impossible to do worse than them if they're already out of the race. So.
Yep. Okay, so Drew, with Elliot locking in another spot, we now, and if I can find it, I need to find the playoffs. Although I'm pretty sure no. Here, NASCAR playoffs standings 2020. I don't know if that's right. Right there. What I just here. Let me go to something else. 6 hours ago. Here we go. Okay. So this is what we got, brother. Okay. Larson Hamlin, Bell, Byron, Blaney, Cindric, Logano, Briscoe, Barry, SVG, Chase Elliott, and Ross Chastain, all with wins. Now, we have 4 freaking spots left, man. And right now, as it stands, if it started today, Reddick, Busher, Bowman, Wallace would be in on points. Wallace is only 23 above the cut line, and Priest right down there. I mean, you have a bunch of these road course guys that are like let's think about it. I mean, like I don't know if you can consider Priest a road course guy, but he could win it.
I think he does decent road courses.
Right. Well, and especially you think about if Wallace crashes out or something and or like just does really bad and Priest kind of does what he did at Mexico City, I mean, dude, I mean, Priest gonna be right back up in there, but then you have Allmendinger, who's like always a guy in contention, and then Michael McDowell as well, man. Even Ty Gibbs, I would say could have a chance. So
Maybe. Yeah.
I wouldn't say at an oval, although he has done better lately. I will say this year or recently, anyway. Not really this year, but
No, well, I mean, he's been improving, you know,
yeah.
especially compared to like last year. So
Mm-hmm.
many losers.
So yeah, that'll be interesting. But yeah, guys that like man like Keselowski, I felt so bad. I mean, obviously I was happy that Elliott won. I like Elliott. I mean, I'm not like a fan. Like I know you're like a fan of him. I'm not a fan. Like see, I've come to the point where I don't really hate really anybody except for Alex Bowman for no reason. But like I don't know. I don't hate like drivers. It's just like I just don't really root for them or don't really care. Like there's some drivers I'm like if they win I'm like oh damn it dude. When Kyle Larson wins, I don't know. Just don't like it. Now Hamlin just depends. If he goes on a streak where he doesn't win after a while and then he wins again, I'm like, okay, cool. But yeah, just felt really bad for Keselowski, man, because that's our RFK. Because obviously we support RFK because Hoist supports them and they low key not really support us. I really need and I'm almost thinking about giving away a 12 pack of Hoist to any of our followers that retweet it when they see it on race day. Like I'm gonna tweet out like, "Hey, repost this. If an RFK driver wins, you have a chance at getting a free pack of Hoist."
Damn,
I might do it.
I hope we don't jinx RFK though by doing that. They
Well,
had such a good
that's
year
part of the
last
reason.
year.
Part of the reason I'm so hesitant to do it. I don't want to do that,
Uh,
man.
well, we're already past the hour mark here, so we should probably get our last couple of segments done here.
Okay, good grass or ass grass, Drew? Atlanta is good grass, bro. Love, 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 love the freaking like infield there on the front stretch. It looks incredible, and even just like grass, like in other areas, man, that's just well maintained. I know normally I just say good grass or ass grass, but I'm gonna start doing a thing where I give it a rating. Okay, out of 10, 0 to 10. This one gets a solid 8.7. So I think that's where we're at with that. Obviously, I haven't done this with other ones, so can't really tell you what's up. But yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Let's get to the paint schemes, brother.
Shit. Perfecto. All right.
Yes.
Is it done? Is it up? All right, perfect. Cool, it is up. All right. Well, since we won our driver choice, you get to go first.
All right. So I picked the number 17 cinnamon toast crunch, and if you saw the pictures of this, man, the back on the spoiler, or like not on the spoiler, on the back of it, maybe it was on the spoiler. It said "Eat my Cinnadust," and I thought that was hilarious. And like, this is just a great car, man. And like, I'm pretty sure Drew and I were talking before this. We think this was like a one-off, but
Dude,
a new sponsor for Busher.
well, I think it's just one of the brands type of Kroger is all. But with the
Yeah, that
popularity
makes
of it
sense.
though, they
Dude, I
better
need
do
that bucket hat that Chris Busher was wearing,
for
man. That
real.
orange cinnamon toast crunch. It was so cool, man. And I need to get a shirt, a Chris Busher cinnamon toast crunch shirt.
All right. Well,
What
obviously,
do you got, man?
I'm gonna go with Chase Elliott's car. Just because it
Mm,
was one of those.
beautiful.
It's a beautiful car. Brave young lady battling cancer with she only has one leg. Designed that car.
All right, she designed the car and she won the contest or whatever. I mean, it's just so cool, dude. I love that
Yeah.
they do that.
Yeah, well, and like Chase Elliott said it himself that he's like the fact that he's got a sponsor that drops millions of dollars, sponsoring him a year, and then they willingly just like let a child just design a car, and then I don't know exactly how else they raise money, but I assume whatever earnings he gets from that race goes towards
Yeah.
Children's Hospital of Atlanta. So
And what was so cool about this paint scheme, Drew, is that the girl that designed it was there, and
mhm,
she got to be in victory lane and everything,
yeah.
and like be with them there on post race interview, like right next to him. And I just it brought a tear to my eye, man. It was really just so sweet, man.
Oh yeah, and I don't know where she's at with treatment and whatnot, but obviously we wish her the best. we wanted to
Yeah, man.
fucking take cancer and feed it to a pulp.
Grab it by its
May,
balls and cut it off.
or grab it by its dick, twist it until it screams uncle, and then twist harder because they screamed uncle. Like, what are you, a bitch? All right, now for the worst part of the show.
Okay, so last week, if y'all recall, if y'all were listening, I made a bold prediction.
God damn it.
Not really prediction, I picked. Because I wasn't very confident with it. It was a risk, and I knew it was a risk. Turns out the risk became a reward. Now, Drew and I had been very close. For Atlanta, I had picked Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And Drew was like, really? And I was like, yeah, man, he does kind of pretty good here. Like, I don't know, the last couple times. Just was like kind of like whatever, and like low key felt bad for beating Drew's ass, so I just picked him. Which was like maybe he'll have a chance to catch up. And so, of course, then Drew picked Denny Hamlin. Well, Denny Hamlin finished like 30th, and Stenhouse finished 6th. So I gained 35 points. Drew gains 10. I am up 410 to 354. So gosh darn it, man. So I get the pick for Chicago first, and Drew, I'm gonna have to go with SVG.
You
man.
motherfucker. God damn it.
I have to, man.
God damn it.
I'm sorry to do it to you, man. Winner's got to win, bro. Player's got to play. So who are you thinking here, man? I mean, you still got some great choices, let's be honest.
Bowman, I want that motherfucker to punt SVG just to spite you. I want him to dump SVG for the win.
I want him to slide his ass into Lake Michigan.
Yeah, dude, I want SVG.
On Lakeshore Drive.
Yeah, dude, I want him to skid down Lakeshore Drive into Lake Michigan and fucking have that car sink to the bottom.
Wait,
of Lake
what the
Michigan.
hell? You're an SVG fan. Now you wanted him to die?
Yeah, but you're beating my ass, so I got to get ahead somehow. And violence is the only answer.
Well, folks, you can obviously tell Drew does not take losing very well.
God damn it. Nah, I'll get over it, bud.
But Drew, I'm sad that we are not in person doing this episode, but I'm glad that we had a chance to do another episode, and actually, on a Monday, recording this. And yeah, dude, again, guys, follow us on Spotify, give us that 5-star review, leave a comment on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed, keep that notification bell on for Spotify and for YouTube. And don't forget to follow us on X at NASHolespod and on TikTok at NASHoles.podcast. We love you and keep being an asshole. We'll see you after Chicago.
Bye.